If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on? Welcome back. Another day of NBA playoffs. Not a good night for me yesterday. I hope yours was a lot better. Shark, of course, did cash on the under in that Nuggets game. I still don't understand how that Nuggets game went under. I've been on an absolute tail fucking spin in the NBA. However, MLB has been more than paying us. And so pretty transparently, I've decreased my units in the NBA, obviously increasing my units in MLB. MLB has just been a straight fucking wagon. We're making money pretty much every day there. So, NBA has been a nightmare, but it's hard to explain when the Knicks come out and just play trash-ass offense and then play iso ball for 70% of the game. I mean, literally, the entire game was Brunson rolling around a screen, dribbling it right. Everybody goes left and then trying to take one-on-one into a crowd or chuck up a contested three or dribble around until there's about 5 seconds left in the shot clock and then pass it out for another contested three. Josh Hart shooting all over the fucking place. Mikal Bridges couldn't hit an open three. If I gave him a map to the basket, it was just like a shit show. And really, if you look at that game and that game script and you look at the stats of that game, the Knicks should have won that game by 20 points. Because even as bad as they played, the Pistons did exactly what the Pistons do. They turned the ball over nonstop, played like shit on both ends of the court, and basically gifted them an opportunity and a path back into the game. But anyway, so I wanted to make sure that I was on this show for you guys here today. This may be my last NBA player performance of the season. I'm going to be traveling the next 2 weeks. And then when I come back, Coach and I will be doing the MLB show. I just don't know if I'm going to have time for both shows. I don't know if we're going to have a third in there. Maybe we'll have a third by rotation or just on the day. If one of these guys want to jump in, maybe we'll do a mix and match. If not, it'll be Coach and I every day doing the MLB show. Or I'll come back on here, depending on what's going on. But if these guys are rolling hot, as I expect both of them to be, there's no reason for me to throw a little cog into the wheel, right, when the wheel is rolling. And so we'll just let Shark and Luke take over the NBA show, and Coach and I will handle the MLB show. If not, I'll stop in for some guest appearances, as always. You guys know that. But I wanted to make sure you guys know it's in full transparency. It is not because I'm cold. The next 2 weeks I'm going to be traveling. Got a couple trips planned. It is that time of the year for me where I normally start my traveling. So anyway, enough about that. If you've been here this long already and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you go do that. And smash the like button. Appreciation. Always appreciated. Guys, get your questions ready. You guys are going to be as much of this show as we are. You know that. He's Graham Sheasby. He's Luke Shuey. I, of course, am J.A. Cavalier. This is NBA Player Performance on a Tuesday, or as Sharky would say, a not-so-casual Tuesday. Let's go. Sharky may have a buy hat engaged. I may have a buy hat engaged. We're ready to fucking roll. NBA Player Performance starts now.
I live the bright lights, the type, the crowd lights. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Tuesday's trend upward. J.A. said it. I'll say it. A suddenly not so casual Tuesday. The three-way is here. Maybe won't be back for the rest of the season, but that's okay. Shark and Shuey open for business, as of course we are ready to dominate the three-way. First game of the card, BucksPacers, Game 2 in Indianapolis. This really is an intriguing game, not just because the Bucks got blown out in the first game. Damian Lillard is playing his first game in weeks. I have a lot of conversation. J.A. said it. The buy hat is engaged. I like that print. J.A., talk to us.
All right, so I have two plays in this game. The first, of course, is the Bucks plus the 4.5. I think the Bucks bounce back in a big way. But even more so, I actually like their team total over 111.5 even more. There's no way the Bucks come out and shoot 24% from three. They entered the playoffs, the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. Tonight, they get Dame back. And true, he's going to be a little rusty, but him just being on the court is going to open it up for guys like Prince, Portis, and Porter. Bucks shit the bed in game one. But prior to that, they went over tonight's team total the previous 3 games and the previous 4 against Indiana. The Bucks have scored 113 or more in 12 of 16 against the Pacers. For fuck's sakes, Milwaukee averaged 115 a game this season. Are the Pacers some big bad fucking defense? Get the fuck out of here. Give me the Bucks team total over 111.5.
Yeah, that correlates to my free play in this game, but we're going to give it to Luke. Luke said he's got a ton of officials in this game, 5 or 6, I believe. This guy's been in meetings all day. He's been up for 15 straight hours, and he's ready to drop live. Luke, talk to us on the props.
All business, baby. This is my game. You guys know it. I follow the Bucks closely, always have my whole life. Doesn't mean I'm always on them. You got to know when to fade, know when to back them. As we say in Texas Hold'em, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. This game, I have a ton of plays, a lot of VIP picks, including a max bet, which is kind of what we're rolling on with props. I've been ebbs and flows, finally hitting some cold spots here, but our max plays have been cashing regularly on a 4-1 run heading into tonight. But the free play in this, I really have a strong lean for Miles Turner to produce tonight. I think the Bucks will stop Halliburton. I think they're going to slow down Siakam. Miles Turner has traditionally beat this team because he's a tough matchup. All eyes on Dame Lillard. I think Turner's going to get hot from deep again. He averages 40% shooting from deep on the season, 2.2 threes made per game this season. But what the issue is here, look back to last season in the 6-game series he had against the Bucks in the playoffs. He played 34 minutes a game, which is a ton, averaged 19.2 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game. All those are way above his season averages from this season. He's a tough matchup for Brook Lopez, who does not get out on the 3 well. He sags and plays interior defense. Perfect combo tonight. Miles Turner to rack up the stat sheet. Over 24.5 PRA is the first solid look tonight. And you know what it means. Booker!
that energy at 15 hours into the day. 15 hours into my day, I'm watching the late night game about to fall asleep. And you're sitting here whipping your arm. Rotator cuff still intact, I got to say. I'm very impressed.
Well, Shark, just imagine him in the bathroom practicing in front of the mirror and the wife knocking on the door. What the fuck's going on in there? Like, what the fuck is going on in there? And all she hears is, Luke, book it! Book it!
Wait until his kids grow up. Wait until the Saturday. Yeah, Luke, the Saturday soccer games, all the other freaking nerd parents, and you're screaming on the sideline.
Forget Luke. His kids are going to grow up, go out there, play soccer, and every time they do something good, they could be sitting there screaming, book it! In the kid's face.
I absolutely love it. I'm surprised I didn't end up on one of the NBA injury reports this year just from the constant motion. But
well, you had plenty of load management, so it's good.
I feel like you've honestly exerted more effort than half NBA teams just on your bookets on this show. But speaking of effort in this game, my official play, my top free play for the show is the over in this game, and this is correlated to everything we're all talking about here. The first game is not going to repeat tonight. 117-98, no Lillard. It was played in the middle of the afternoon. I've talked about this all year. I'll never fully understand it. These guys are professional athletes. They should be able to play well no matter what the time of day. Matinees, always just a can of worms. We have no idea. But I think even more importantly, go back to last year. These teams didn't play in the first round last year, and it is a divisional game, so we have tons of information. The game last year, game 1, also on a weekend, also a matinee, also went way under. 109.94. Game 2, total reversal. 125-108. And it was very much dependent on the 3 ball. And when I was going through this, again, the patterns are pretty fascinating here. The game that was just played, the teams combined and shot 22 for 71 from 3. Game 1 last year, 22 for 75 from 3. Almost the exact same numbers. Game 2, total flip. 29 for 68 from 3. And as I mentioned, these teams play 4 times in the regular season. In the regular season, they average 238 points. So it's going to be way, way higher tonight. And we got a bunch of different props in this game. I also have an official VIP prop. Luke, we were looking at a couple of guys here. I just want to throw it back to you. We got some time. Kuzma and others. Kuzma had 0 points in the first game. I mean, what is the deal?
I almost want to hear Jay's take on this because if you guys didn't see, Kyle Kuzma had no stat. He had no stat.
He was
Mr. Tony Snell. He played 22 minutes. He had no points, no rebounds, no assists, no steal, no block. Like, what the hell? I mean,
he did miss every single shot. He went 0 for 5 from the field, didn't hit a 3, and also somehow managed to miss both free throws.
He was saving it. He was saving it for tonight.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how
he was saving it for tonight. You know, he felt lost without Dame, but he was saving it for tonight.
I don't know how you don't buy low on him coming back. Like, the guy's got to get involved.
No, listen, if you bet any fucking Kuzma props, you're sicker than I am. Like, honestly, you're a sick fuck if you start betting Kuzma props. I mean, the guy, listen, he does a lot passing, rebound, defensively. He's not scoring, or is he trying to? So, I mean, honestly, I don't think you can get their points. I mean, Luke, you may feel differently about this than I do, but I haven't seen him assert himself enough to even look his way in the prop market. Am I wrong?
No, not necessarily, because if you look at literally the eye test, he's not being aggressive enough. I totally agree. It's such a buy low that I would lean towards his over tonight because it's down to 9.5 points. I mean, the guy averaged like 14 on the year. He put up, 15 shot attempts, many games. Like, he has a ton of potential to shoot a lot, but it's only going to happen if Dame is being unselfish and if Giannis is getting doubled. Like, those are the only scenarios he's going to get the ball when he's kind of open. Because you're right, when he gets the ball, he's not looking to shoot right away.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jamal. Kuzma, get the fuck out of here.
I was looking at it myself, and truthfully, if you think about it, if Milwaukee's supposed to score 115 points in this game, roughly or more, I mean, Giannis and Lillard are probably going to combine for maybe 75, maybe
at most. I mean,
at most,
they're projected to be. What are they? They're projected for like 55 to 60.
Yeah, I was going to say 75 is like extremely generous.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still like 70 more points to go around, if not, like in that range. So Kuzma could even have like a halfway game here and still score in double digits. And I think, as we said, this game is going to be the polar opposite to game one. It was just a weekend. It was funky. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't shoot the 3. It's going to be wide open tonight. Top play from me over in this game. You get it 228 now on multiple books. Segueing to the next game, 7:30 in Oklahoma City. That is, I believe, 6:30 in the Paycom Center here, which, again, is going to bring on some ambiguity from a tip time perspective. I don't know if we have graphics for this, but we certainly do have graphic results from the previous 5 games. Thunder have absolutely demolished the Grizzlies this year. They blew them out in the first game by 51. That was not an anomaly. 4 covers in the regular season, average win by 18.75 points per game. I don't think Memphis is going to be competitive tonight, but I do think more points will be scored in this game. And Jay, I know you're looking at overs and player prop overs.
First off, Bernsey is an absolute true professional. Well, let's get that straight. If you guys have been tuning in, you guys have been watching he and Les light it up on and melt the ice and puck you. Everybody's telling me that they love the show. Bernsey and Les Victori, our NHL specialists. Les Bernsey doing a great job. Les is always doing a great job. So I definitely suggest you guys watch it. And also, get up on that on those quick picks with Coach Rick. Coach Rick is always on fucking fire. All the man does is just fucking win. I mean, he crushes it. It's crazy. And it's only 2 weeks more of quick picks because then he and I are going to be doing the MLB show every day. So you want to catch quick picks, get up in there. Okay, so for this game, listen, Thunder are going to win the game. I mean, are they going to get there by margin? I don't know. 15 is still a fat number. I still don't like to lay double digits. If forced to, I mean, I would probably actually take Memphis, but take Memphis early in this game if I was going to play a side. I'm not playing a side. I am going to target, however, the prop master back at it, of course, tonight. I am on Ja Morant's over 21.5 points. Morant was held to 17 in game 1, but he played just 26 minutes, obviously because of the blowout. The Grizzlies need to rebound. Look, and don't get me wrong, they have no chance, no fucking shot in this series, but Ja should get his. He averages 23 a game. 22 in each of the play-in games. Morant has scored 22 or more in 8 of his last 10 games and in 33 of 53 games this season, including 24 on March 5th against these Thunder. So this is basically a buy low spot on Ja. You're getting this at 21.5. Grizzlies may lose this game by 30, but I still think Ja gets his, and Ja still cashes over 21.5.
Yeah, when I was looking at the box score from game one, I mean, this is a disaster. As you said, Morant was 6 for 17. Desmond Bane was 3 for 12. Triple J was 2 for 13. I mean, like, I don't know what happened with the coaching change. Taylor Jenkins is sitting on a beach somewhere in the Bahamas laughing over some margaritas because this team with Tuamas Lasolo has not improved really at all. I do think, again, more points in this game. These guys have to score. I mean, as you said, the Thunder could light them up like 140 to 110 or something in that range. But, Luke, I'm sure you're looking at the overs and the props here as well.
I am. It aligns with an over game because Memphis has to be competitive. Like, they're going to at least come out with some fire. Otherwise, it's series over. Like,
oh, wait, look, before you start.
Yeah.
What do you think about my Ja read?
So I like the take because, well, let me say something you guys didn't, though. That first game, OKC's defense, like, give them credit. They are the best in the NBA. It's not even close, in my opinion. They're so damn solid. I mean, you just listed off the Grizzlies' top 3 players, all shot below, 25%? I mean, that's not for no reason. Like, OKC does deserve credit for this. But I'll back JA's, but that's hard to say. JA's Ja take. A lot of JA's. But my take is similar. It's on the other side. So you guys know this. All season I say I stay away from SGA or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Wow, I can't talk
Just
today.
say SGA. Everybody knows who you're talking about. I actually definitely co-sign this. So I'm sprinkling on this.
I stay away from his props all season, except for certain spots. This is one of them tonight because he only played 23 minutes, similar to Jay's take on Morant. He only played 23 because it was a blowout, and he played horrifically, not efficient. He was 4 of 13, 1 of 7 from 3. But look at what he actually did against Memphis when he played full minutes this regular season, 36-plus points a game in 4 games. When he faces this defense, he usually doesn't have to shoot threes. That's my key to this take, is they're so weak that they don't play good one-on-one defense. He can get to the rim. He shot very few threes against him in the regular season because he got to the rim, got to the free throw line, and he shot a ton from inside the paint. I expect him to put up 26-plus shot attempts tonight, more than enough to go over his number of 32.5. So it's over 32.5 points for SGA. One more time, a little less emphatic, but book it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. For me, the best look in this game for free play would be the over, and I think you're looking at 229.5 now. And again, like, it's hard to see OKC not scoring in the 120-plus range again. It's just what they do every single time against Memphis. Memphis doesn't really play any defense. And this is just going to be an uptick in Memphis's point scoring in some format because these 3 players are not going to shoot 6 for 17, 3 for 12, 2 for 13. It was the middle of the afternoon. I was actually kind of surprised that was the 1:00 game on Sunday. I actually thought it would be Boston, Orlando, an East Coast game. The fact that they actually had a Midwest time zone game at noon, I think didn't help Memphis. And we talked about this yesterday too. Memphis was coming off of 2 play-in games, a tough one in Golden State, a blowout of Dallas. They just had no life. Memphis will be more competitive tonight. I think you're going to see a lot more points. So this is another over. You know, we're talking about playoff unders. I think we're looking at overs in the first 2 games here tonight, and they're both buy lows off of weekend matinee unders, which are just systemic to that time of day. So overs.
I agree.
Overs in the points market across the board.
Well, now I will say this. I'm going to say this though. One thing though is even though the unders have trended in the playoffs, I don't know the exact numbers. I wouldn't say it's so tilted. However, most of these games are being played at an over pace. It's really just been poor offense, or at least poor offensive performances on one end of the court, if not the other. But they've all ticked up in pace, which is odd for this time of year.
No, I agree. And I think part of it is the fact that a team like Memphis hasn't really put any defense on record all year. Like, I don't even think they have another level to go to defensively. This is just who they are. And again, without Taylor Jenkins and this new coach, I mean, we're not saying anything like too overwhelming about the coach, left, right, or center, because we barely know who he is. But I just was watching him in game one. It looked like he literally had no idea what to do. Like,
if I'm speaking even more so to like that Knicks Pistons game last night, that pace was fucking frantic. I'm actually surprised there wasn't like 240 points scored in that game. At the pace at which they played last night, that was a fast up and down the court game. The problem is teams just kept turning the ball over, Hart's throwing the ball out of bounds. And even in the Nuggets-Clippers game, again, that game opened up early in the first half and really sped out in pace. But each team went cold for long periods of time. You saw the Clippers go cold for like 5 minutes in the first quarter, and then the Nuggets went cold to start the second quarter. So it was just really awkward and odd basketball, things I've never seen in the NBA so far. All right, we can move on.
Yeah, no, what I was just going to say in terms of what the books think of this matchup, this Memphis matchup, the books have had a grip on this, actually. They, for all the moving parts here that we're talking about, all of it put into the book line. Books actually did like that under on Sunday, April the 20th. It was a 226.5 line, which was actually a very low line for these teams given the regular season matchups. Off of that under at 226.5, the open was 230. So all of our conversation here, Sportsbook's algorithms agree and have moved it up, expecting more points. So over is a very good look in this game, and prop overs all over. Next game, 10 o'clock in Los Angeles, Crypto.com. Game 2, Timberwolves Lakers. Lakers laying 5.5, ticking up to 6. Total skyrocketing down. Opened at 218, down to 210.5. You talk about really historical steam coming down on the under here. I saw that. I'm honestly a bit confused. We were talking about this yesterday. We think this is a big-time spot for the home team. Jay, these are the spots we wait for all year. Am I right?
First out, a little bit of love for those in the comments, the guys who are here with us every day. Jamal, what's going on? Motherfucking Seth, what's going on? Jermaine, always with us, what's going on? H-Town legend, of course. Chad Pickard, of course. Guys, what's going on? And for those of you who I missed, Jesus is back with us, as always. Love seeing you guys here with us, riding with us every day. And for those of you who I missed, I'll catch you back next round. Yeah, look, I'm on the Lakers tonight, right? But I am clearly just on the Lakers because it's a Lakers fucking spot, right? I mean, I do think the Wolves are the better team. I like the Wolves in the series. I just, want all of that noted. But in this game here, this is one of those desperation games. The Lakers absolutely have to have this one. You can't go down 0-2 at home, especially to a team like Minnesota, because if they go down 0-2, that's it. Series is over. So I do think that this is a Lakers spot. Lakers early, Lakers often. It would be all Lakers for me, and that's, honestly is what I did do. I went Lakers early. I went Lakers often in this game, spread it around, basically spread the board, putting myself out there first quarter, first half, full game. But I did take down units. I got guys, the key part here is this is one of the key differences between what I do and why I've been successful sports gambling for as long as I have been. When I start to get cold in a particular sport, I'll either stop playing, but I'll definitely decrease my units. I'll decrease my unit size, right? Like, so for a guy who normally bets 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, I'll bring it down to betting 1,000 or to, to make sure that I'm not sitting here with too much exposure when cold. And then when you start to get hot, you start to lay the lumber. And that's truly how to make money sports gambling long term. It's like when you're playing blackjack, and you catch a bad run of cards. Well, you don't chase. You don't keep doubling your bet, hoping eventually you're going to hit. You decrease your exposure, right? Like that's how you make money. And then you increase your exposure other places where you are hot and where you are seeing the board. So, I mean, for me, when I get cold in the NBA, what I'll do is I'll sprinkle the board, right? Like, so I'll play more plays instead of laying into one big game. I'll start playing lots of small plays because it helps you see the board better and helps you see where you missed and where you've been missing. So naturally, of course, what happens tonight is I end up going like 5-6-0. just because I lowered it all down to such small unit sizes. But that's okay. I don't mind doing it. You know, that's how you make money doing this shit long term, guys.
Yeah, no, I think great conversation there. Obviously, we haven't really discussed bankroll management on here in extensive detail, but always manage your roll. You never want to be out of the game when your sample improves, and that's really a key point. You don't want to just completely bankrupt yourself on a downswing, and you can't even be in the game when it comes back up. But, you know, speaking of coming back up, I think the Lakers have to improve here. You know, one thing that I picked up on, I actually wasn't watching that game in detail on Saturday night, but there were just far too many three-pointers in that game. I mean, this is the playoffs. This is not November 20th. Minnesota shot 42 three-pointers, and the Lakers shot 41. 83 three-pointers in a game that finishes 117-95. And what that is for me, that is bad contemporary basketball. That is far too many threes, and that is them not adjusting when they're not hitting anything. Terrible basketball game, in my opinion, certainly for the Lakers. But, Luke, what are the props saying in this one?
This is probably my least favorite of the games just because I'm not sure how this one's going to pan out. I think it could go a lot of different ways. One thing you could look to do is fade Jackson Hayes. The guy didn't play. He played 8 minutes. JJ Redick showed you that he does not want Jackson Hayes on the floor almost at all. So I would take, and the books show this too, his unders are like minuscule. Like his points are like 3.5, rebounds 2.5. So you could fade Jackson Hayes. I like that as a prop, to be honest. LA is looking to go elsewhere with their playing time and their minutes tonight. And especially in a must-win game, he's not going to have an impact. So I love a Jackson Hayes fade. If you're looking for overs, I just don't see a ton of overs in this. It might, I don't know. I align with what Shark said. Way too many threes, and that's so much variance there that I don't really know how this game's going to go. So I'll give you a strong lean on Jackson Hayes fading in any stat category. You could just do his PRA to get the best value of them all. But I don't have a VIP play in this game. Oh, I do want to comment too before I let you guys go. That damn Ryder die last night in the late game. Aaron Gordon needed 2 points or rebounds the whole fourth quarter, and he couldn't do it. And he missed a dunk. I mean, he missed a dunk for us to cover. Like, come on. That is bullshit for the listeners, and I'm not taking that bad beat lightly.
Listen, don't make excuses. Just fucking win.
Just bet unders and Jackson Hayes at 3.5. And pray he doesn't get too dunked. That's the sharpest take on the board.
You should have took the under. Your read was off.
And he was flying over. I think someone said it in the comments.
No, listen, there is nothing worse than that play, and that play still fucking haunts me. I mean, that Westbrook play in double overtime, when literally all you have to do is stop fucking dribbling, pull into the corner, let them come to you and foul you. Instead, you try to showboat and go in for a fucking dunk, except you can't jump quite as high as you used to, and you completely fucking miss and brick it, and they come down on the other end, and then you foul a three-point shooter to lose the fucking game in double overtime. That is just the basketball IQ of a fucking donut.
The listeners agree. It was an easy fucking dunk. It was like outrageous. So the Nuggets continue to haunt us, apparently. We live to fight on.
Yeah. In terms of this game, though, like with the total, the first game obviously did go under. It was a 218.5 line. This actually opened at 218, and it steamed all the way down to, I see even 209.5 right now on DraftKings. I mean, I don't know what is going on here. I got to be honest, because this game should not be steamed down 9.5 points. I mean, this is ridiculous. It reminds me of like mid-major college basketball where some guy just knows that they can't shoot and they're hung over or something. Like, this makes no sense. I actually think at this point with this steamed down, this is steamed way too far down to take an under. I think this game is going to hover over 210, like 210, 12, 15, 217, somewhere in that range. And again, this is just the type of spot you want to buy the home team here. You're going to see it tomorrow night with Houston. It's not common where you see a high seed lose game one at home, but when they do, the second game is an absolute banger. And as I said, these coaches, particularly JJ Redick, needs to tell his guys, stop chucking threes. Move the ball, drive to the hole, get contact. And speaking of contact, I feel like the refs tonight will probably lean towards the Lakers here. You know, something we haven't really talked about on this show over the months here.
Ooh, conspiracy. Building the conspiracy. I like it.
I mean, is Scott Foster in this game tonight? Let's see who's officiating this game tonight. Luke, can you look that up real quick?
Well, that doesn't matter because Chris Paul isn't playing, so we're good.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know a lot of guys that do handicap the officials, and there's a lot of data, specifically with stuff like this, where a team's trying to avoid an 0-2 hole going on the road, and they will get a refereeing crew that like really kind of edges the game their direction. I just think the league doesn't want LeBron and these guys getting swept. It's not necessarily about them not beating the Wolves. That's potentially a difficult ask over 7 games, but to get swept, that's more than just this series. That's
okay. So you knew I was stopping you there. So you're going to tell me that you really believe that the league will step in and have calls faded one way or the other? You know what? To tilt the favor to one team or the other. I think that's fucking crazy, bro. I think that's crazy. Honestly, honestly, as a realist, I think that's just crazy talk.
Well, let me say
Birdsey fucking loves it. Birdsey's flat out sitting here saying, I fucking love it. But
I'll say this: 2 things. I used to work with a couple guys that were far more cynical than I am, and listening to them over years, I was like, all right, guys, like I was basically saying what you're saying to me right now. I was saying like, you're wrong. This is ridiculous, whatever. When I saw the actual data, I'm not talking about looking at the calls, but just the records of teams in spots like this with certain officiating crews. Like the Scott Foster crew is running like an 80 or 90% win rate in these type of games where there's a team at home that can't lose. And as I said, for me, it's not so much that they're going to, throw the game for the series, but they don't want 3 open calendar dates, games 5, 6, and 7 in prime time. They lose so much ad revenue in those games. It's actually a real thing. And I mean, if the data wasn't there, I wouldn't even be speaking on it. But I do think that they do move stuff around. And second point on this, if we didn't hear about Tim Donaghy and all these South Philly refs like running like an insider ring, I mean, that was a playoff game too. They detailed it was the Shaq game against the Blazers, I think, right? It's true. I mean, Luke, we're sitting here. We got 2 New York guys living in Florida. What do you guys think up in Wisconsin? Are you guys just clean living on the farm?
Or theme song to X-File.
I had to look up the refs for this game because it was bothering me. I thought it was saying Scott Foster for a second, but it's James Capers, Ben Taylor, Justin Van Duyn, and the rest. So the lead ref is Ben Taylor, crew chief James Capers. Do you know
that guy? That guy right there. He's always fucking rigging it.
Do you know
that fucker? This is definitely rigged.
Wait, I'm looking here. It says, hold on. It says lead official Scott Foster. Was that for the first game or the second game?
I'm looking at the NBA official referee assignments for tonight.
And on the next episode of Shark Goes Bananas, we're gonna start talking about lizard people, and how they're wearing the skins of the government officials.
I love reading the numbers though, because you brought it up. CP3, like with the reffing, like that. Those numbers are so wild that it's hard not to at least like pay attention to it. But
CP3 hasn't played on any great teams. Like they were good enough just to get there.
Right.
So it's not like, it's some big conspiracy trying to keep the best going and then all of a sudden trying to keep like LeBron in the playoffs. Listen, to be honest with you, I think there's probably more people who are tired of fucking watching LeBron and tired of seeing him fucking act like a baby. And now you got the 2 biggest babies in the league both on the same fucking team. Me more than anybody would rather see them get the fuck out of here, than anything else. Like, I don't want to see every fucking play or every time it doesn't get called and nothing gets called, every time he dribbles the ball, every time he touches the ball, Luke is crying to an official, LeBron's running around sorting out an official. Like what? What? Like, I mean, it's the fucking worst version of the NBA. So, I mean, listen, honestly, I think the league would love nothing more than the new face of the league to sweep the Lakers. If you want to get truthful, because they are absolutely pushing for Ant to be the new Jordan, and that's a fact, right? Like that's a fact. And you know what? Honestly, if you really look at it, he has the most fucking skill to be that guy.
And he's a dog. I mean,
and he flat out is a fucking dog.
No, I agree, but I will say this: I don't think they've marketed.
Oh wait, Sharky Conspiracy. You know, he played in college for the Dogs, and now he plays for the Wolves, which are also a canine. So it's also a dog. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know.
I do think I do think in terms of their projections, in terms of the money and the viewership, if LeBron gets bounced in this round, particularly LeBron and Luka together, the ratings for the Wolves in round 2 are going to be so much lower than the Lakers would be. And this is not me. I mean, I could care less if the Lakers get through. I'm not a fan. I could care less if the Wolves get through. I really could care less. It's just what the league profits more with, and they don't have Edwards marketed. Like they are trying to market him. In my opinion, they won't be able to market him properly until LeBron and Steph are like totally out of the picture. Because even SGA now is getting more marketing, like than you would expect, like on commercials and stuff.
No, but let's be honest. Steph was all but dead until they signed Jimmy. I mean, honestly, there was you went the first half of the season without hearing from Steph or hearing about Steph or what was going on in Golden State. There was really hardly any Golden State love in the market whatsoever. He really wasn't being put out there on commercials. You didn't see Steph for the first half of the season. Then all of a sudden they got Jimmy. He got a bump, tick up, in the market, and all of a sudden, now you're seeing him everywhere again. Rightfully so. They were irrelevant for pretty much the first half of the season. They became relevant, so they're obviously going to push those who are fucking relevant. But, I would think Golden State more than the Lakers. Honestly, I think it's all about the marketability, and you don't want to market a 45 or a 45-year-old player. You don't want to market, listen, I don't want to market Luka. I think he, okay, so he's in shape now, but it really took for him to get the boot from Dallas to really wake up to get in shape. And I mean, you can say what you want about the move from Nico, but listen, the dude was a fat fuck in Dallas, right? He was out of shape drinking beer. He came over to the Lakers. Maybe that was the wake-up call he needed to get into shape. Maybe that was the wake-up call he needed to become the player everybody wanted him to be. But listen, honestly, Wolves are the better team. I think the Wolves win this in 5-6. I do think the Lakers get this one tonight.
Yeah, I agree. And no, it's a very interesting conversation. As I said, I'm not cynical. Cynical for people that don't know vocabulary. I mean, the words are great, but cynical just basically means that you assume everybody's out with some sort of agenda to manipulate the market against you. And if you think that, then you're going to walk through life basically thinking that life sucks. Everybody's out to get you. You can live on one side of it, but cynical minds do think that there is movement in these outcomes. And again, I just don't think they want to see a sweep. And if the Lakers lose 2 here, it's hard to envision it going past 5 or 6. So a lot of interesting conversation here. And we do have best bets.
All right, Sharky, who are you taking tonight with your best bet? E.T.?
E.T., Lizard Man, NBA basketball, suddenly
the
not
Area
so
51's E.T.
Well, I got a lot of stuff going on tonight. I think we could probably do our 6 or 7 leg parlay today. I think that would be a good day. It would be a good day for it. But my best bet for the show is the over 228 BucksPacers.
Okay. My best bet is obviously going to be the Bucks team total over. So, of course, they are correlated. Are we going 3 for here with a look in the Bucks game?
We are 3 for same game, all correlated. Miles Turner over 24.5 PRA is a really strong look tonight for Indiana. Again, I just think all 3 of those plays correlate well. Just saying.
All right, so I'm going to roll a nice little small 3-leg SGA on that as well. I'll throw a nice little 3-leg SGA. Although I don't know if you can roll a total and a team total in the same SGA.
Jay, I love you. You just said SGA, but you meant
SGA.
that's what can happen with
SGP. Okay, he got me all fucked up talking about Area 51 and conspiracy theories. and you know what really happened to Kennedy, and where's Jimmy Hoffa? You know what the fuck? Like now we got games being fixed in the NBA. You know, so I'm all lost. Okay, so nice little same game parlay, a nice little 3-leg, but I don't think Hard Rock allows you to do a team total and a total. I'll have to look into that. If not, maybe I'll just throw the Bucks plus the 4.5, or try to get a little bit extra long on the odds, and maybe a nice little Bucks money line in there. I like it. It's all deadly. But the best bets for the show, Shark, is on the over for the full game, Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. I am on the Bucks team total over. And Luke, one more time.
Miles Turner, points, rebounds, assists, over 24.5.
That would be a PRA. All right. So we could build down a nice little 6-leg parlay. I mean, I guess I could start it off. What I'll do is I'll go the Lakers full game money line as the first leg, and then we'll do Shark, if you're going to put in the over in that game, what I'll do is I'll just say the Bucks plus the 4.5, or you can go money line. That's fine. Those will be the first 2 legs. Shark, what's the next 2?
You put in Bucks against the spread, you said?
Yeah, I'll take the Bucks plus the 4.5, and then you can take the total in that game.
Yeah, I'll take the total there, 228 over, and we'll also take Grizzlies over 229.5.
Okay, Luke?
All right. So we need just one more. I will go with.
Well, the first one is obviously going to be your PRA, right? Is your
Right.
Miles Turner PRA. So then you just need one more.
Yeah, I'm going to go. You know what? You guys laughed at it. I'm going Jackson Hayes under 3.5 points. I don't care what anyone says. He might not even enter this game.
I know. I definitely didn't laugh at Jackson Hayes. I think there was something else going on. If that we were talking about the Lakers game, so I was probably laughing at the conspiracy with that. So no. I wasn't laughing at the play in that. I wasn't. So that's the 6-leg parlay. Shark is on the over in the Bucks, and I think what is that over 228?
228. Yep, you can get 227.5 now in 1 or 2 books.
And what's the other over?
229.5 in the Grizzlies Thunder game.
Okay. And then I'm on the Bucks plus 4.5. 3.5 is fine. I know it is ticking down. There's a lot of sharp movement on it. And then that's going to be Lakers money line. You know, you're probably going to catch that. It's 5.5. So I would say it's probably close to 200. And then Luke's PRA is going to be Miles Turner over 29. Is that correct?
Over 24.5. And Brock.
24.5.
Good luck fading me. If you've done that for months now, you are way down. But hey, good luck fading. Everyone hits some heaters and some cold streaks.
What, people said they were going to fade you?
Oh yeah, big time. Brock Daddy.
Oh, Brock Daddy's going to fade it all.
Yeah.
You know what I used to say? You know what I used to say when people would fade me? I'll see it in your cardboard box on the street.
No. Listen, it's your money to move any direction you want to move. But why the fuck would you sit here spend an entire hour on a show only to fade the show? That's kind of silly. I mean, but then again, I'm a guy who has better things to do this time. So who knows? But choice, of course, is yours. Why fade Luke? Luke has been fucking hot. Have you been cold lately, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, transparently, yeah, it's been one of the colder 7-day stretches that actually is probably.
Oh, you've been cold for a fucking week? Oh my God! Listen, we got to nail this fucker to the cross. Holy shit! This guy was literally on fire for 2 fucking months. He's been a week, and guys are fading him. That's just crazy. That's just crazy talk. I'll have none of that fucking behavior here at Why Lose. The fuck is going on with you guys? You animals. AJ, can I say what I wanted to say? How the fuck can I answer that? I would have to know what it is you wanted to say before I could say whether or not you could say what you want to say.
I mean, it's an open chat. You can say
whatever. You can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want.
It's not censored. I mean, Bernsey will get you out of here if you're out of line, but it's not censored from the jump. So say whatever you want.
Now we're waiting. Like, what does he need to say?
I know. Now we're all sitting here waiting. What does he want to fucking say?
The elusive behind the wall chat. Like,
all right, listen. Just get this out here right now. We're gonna have 3 Ryder guys while AJ thinks of his best way to ask his question. Bertie, ride or die.
Ride or die, remember?
All right, so I'm going to put all three of our best bets tonight as Ride or Dies. That's right. $200 Amazon gift card on each of our Ride or Dies tonight. You know what? What's the word? You know, you guys got to come up with one name for yourselves in the chat. You guys do it. You guys decide. I'm not going to decide for you. And then we'll pick whatever the best name is. And then what we'll do is we'll use that just as the name in the chat, and you guys can pick that name. All right. Anyway, so we have 3 to $200 Amazon gift cards. We'll pick those on tomorrow's show. But you know, listen, full transparency, we should at least go 1 and 2 on these fucking Ride or Dies tonight. So I figure, you know, like I told you, spray the board. Of course, you have the 6-leg parlay Q&A. We're going to start now.
Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
All right, guys, we have time for 5 questions. So let's go. Get them up, get them going now. We'll get you guys locked in. Misfits. Yeah. Giannis under threes. Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, I love fading Giannis from the 3-point line simply because he has no reason to be shooting threes. If he does, it's stupid. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I've watched him his entire career. He shoots like 20% from 3. This season, he backed off again. He said he had no reason to do it. And if you can't tell, he sucks from the free throw line lately. I expect him to be good tonight from the free throw line, but there's no reason for him to shoot a 3-pointer. So yes, please take the under. Love that take, Flacco. What line can you get that at? That's a good question. No one asked that. I'm asking. What is the line?
Listen, I honestly literally get sad every time I see Bam shoot a 3. So I know your pain there.
Yeah, so Giannis's line, it's actually a pretty good value. Throughout the season, you'll see it at like minus 350 or more. Tonight, it's minus 185 or minus 166 on DraftKings. I know that's juiced, but parlay that with something else or take it straight. I don't see Giannis making a 3. I'm with Flacco.
Actually, I actually like that. And if you really think with the return of Dame tonight, you're going to get him more headed to the basket and looking to kick out. So I would actually, you know, definitely wholeheartedly think that would be the best look for that.
Absolutely. Good spot.
And then they asked about the Bucks first quarter. Sorry, I just completely apologize, Don. I completely ignored that one. I like the first quarter plus the 1.5. Typically, when you have a team that's lost so badly in their top quarter would be that first quarter. Shark, what do you think about that look?
I definitely don't disagree from the standpoint of motivation and needing to get out in front. My only hesitation would be Lillard coming back off a significant break. They might not have good flow to start. So the only counterpoint, and again, historically, the spots are correct in terms of the motivation here. But usually they don't have a superstar coming back game 2 off like a month-plus break. So could be a little weird.
Yeah, but I think people have to remember one thing. His ailment was more precautionary than it was injury, right? Wasn't it? With the blood clot, because what you experience more is a little bit more fatigue, and they just want to make sure you don't end up, with a heart attack on the court. So it was more precautionary than it was anything else. So I don't know what was going behind the scenes. So he's not exactly sitting there coming off of an ailment. Not that he's not coming off of an ailment, but you understand something that would hinder his motion or something that would hinder his shot. He's coming off of of something that was precautionary. So I don't really think it's going to take all that much to get Dame acclimated into the flow tonight, and the continuity should be consistent with what it's been. And more so, like I said, when I gave out the pick, is I think it also is what it opens up, because Prince absolutely has to be more aggressive on the offensive end of the court. He's too good offensively, and he's too good of a shooter to not take threes. Yes. And then you got to figure that Porter Jr. is going to come out, and he's going to be a little bit more of a look to go to. And you're going to get Ryan Rollins probably off the court in the starting role if Dame's coming back, which is probably good for the kid because the spot was clearly just too big for the young guy.
I actually think it bodes better for the Bucks if Dame is more of a facilitator early. Sometimes he can force a little too much. You guys know from deep, not great shot looks tonight. I don't think he's going to do that out the gate. I actually think it's going to be better for Milwaukee's flow. Interesting one here. So I assume you're talking Aaron Wiggins on the Thunder. It's not a play I got to, but I would lean over on this. I think that's what you're asking is, would you take the over? His line was 9.5 when I checked earlier today. If it still is that, I like Wiggins for double digits. He's been a good guy off the bench for the Thunder. You never know if he's going to play more if this game gets out of hand. So yeah, good value on Wiggins over.
So just answer that as well.
Yes. It's easy. It's just yes. I would take both of those.
Okay. I'm on the Lakers, so I can't play a team total over the other way, thinking that the Lakers, this is a Lakers spot. They could very well go over. I mean, they lit it up, and when you have the best player on the court, and yes, I said it, and I'll stand behind it, and is absolutely going to be the best player in the court tonight. When you have the best player in the court, and I do like what they did with their lineup, it's going to be interesting to see what they do again in game 2 with Naz Reid ticking minutes, and McDaniels getting more play. Naz Reid's minutes are going to go up. You can see Rudy's minutes probably go down as this series continues. So you might want to look to fade any Rudy numbers, and you might want to, start catching some Naz Reid numbers up and over. Luke, would you agree with that?
Yeah. I incorrectly, I'll own my losses. I incorrectly backed Rudy Gobert in game 1 because the numbers showed that he'd have a good game. The coach just said, Naz is the hotter guy. We're going with Naz. So for that reason, I hesitate with Rudy again tonight because he might sit. He's just, if there's no Jackson Hayes, why does Gobert need to be on the court? If the Lakers are going to shoot threes, there's no reason Gobert should be on the court. But we'll see how tonight plays out. I am very interested to see that dynamic.
Yeah, I never said anything about that island. I never brought it up. I've never had conversation about it. I had no knowledge of it. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're diving into deep shit now. Like, no, dude. Like,
I had to read that. I was like, what are you talking
about? Yeah, next thing I'm going to be called out for being at Diddy parties or some shit. Fuck out of here.
When you told them you rapped the intro song, everybody thought you had to be hanging out with the crew back in 2005 in the Hamptons.
Nope. I spent 0 time at Daddy's house.
But I just want to make a comment on that T-Wolves total real quick. If you look at how they scored 117 points in the first game, as I mentioned, it was basically a 3-point shootout. They made 21 threes. They shot 21 for 42 from 3. I didn't go through their calendar. I would venture to say that might have been their best 3-point output of the entire year. They're not going to repeat that. The Lakers are going to have a significant focus on closing to the perimeter. And if you actually go through the regular season matchups, Minnesota at LA, they scored 103 points on October 22nd, and they scored 102 points on February 27th. So 117 was an outlier. This is going to come down. Minnesota is going to score roughly right around 100 points tonight, just to be clear on that.
Edie, listen, I'm just going to say this because a couple guys been talking about Edie. Edie has looked lost, and I think this is just too fast of a matchup for Edie. I think you're probably going to see more Bagley than you're going to see Edie moving forward. So that's just my thoughts on that. But listen, that's it for us here today, guys. Luke, you have any final thoughts?
Not much, other than I'm excited for the rest of these series to pan out. It's a good time of year. It's Jay's last show for potentially the season, so we had to end it on a fun one. Appreciate you guys. I just got to do one last time for him, and then I'm out. Booker!
Sharky.
Yeah, again, we'll see what the lineup looks like going forward. I think I'll definitely try to get on the MLB show as well. We love to talk some baseball, and we'll get in there this summer. I mean, it's summertime after June 20th. I mean, what the hell else are we going to talk about? Freaking golf, tennis, and auto racing? I mean, I don't know. So hopefully we can talk some baseball this summer. We'll figure that out. Luke and I will be here 5 days a week, maybe 6, maybe Saturdays, at least for the next couple of weeks as well, talking ball here. But we appreciate you guys in the chat. Hell of a conversation. A lot of entertainment today. I think the vibes are real high. Let's have a hell of a day. Let's cash this card. Let's dominate.
Yeah, and as far as the next 2 weeks go, I'm traveling for the next 2 weeks, so I'm definitely not going to be on the next 2 weeks, and then we'll see what things are like. I fully expect these guys to be on fire throughout the playoffs, and I don't want to mess with that continuity, with that game flow if these guys are cashing big tickets for you every fucking night. So since I'm expecting that of these guys, you know what? I probably won't be back, but we'll be doing the MLB show every day. And if they're not on fire, you know what? Then I'll come back on, just to heat it up a little bit. But anyway, he's Graham Sheasby. He's Luke Shuey. I, of course, am J.A. Cavalier. This has been NBA Player Performance. We're going to see you guys back here tomorrow, or at least they'll see you guys back here tomorrow. But until then, remember, yesterday's a memory. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. You're here now. You're alive. Make it count.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.